How confident are you in Team USA to win the 2023 FIBA World Cup? Is our roster strong enough to dominate the rest of the world? Who are the biggest contenders to challenge the US? And ultimately, who will go home with the gold? These answers might not be what you expect. We'll answer all those burning questions and more, but only if you stick around till the end. The 2023 FIBA World Cup is here! And before you start bagging on the FIBA World Cup, listen here. If you are a real NBA fan, you have been dying to get some real basketball action for months! Sure, it's not the NBA Finals, nor the Olympics, but there's actually some legit stars on the international stage. Before we reveal those, let's talk about Team USA's roster. If you were to construct the USA roster, who would you have? Let us guess. LeBron, KD, Steph, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Dame, Jimmy Buckets, AD, Kawhi, PG, Ja, the list goes on. What if none of those players were on the 2023 Team USA roster? Well, that's the case. The team consists of Anthony Edwards, Paolo Banchero, Tyrese Haliburton, Brandon Ingram, Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson Jr., Mikal Bridges, Austin Reaves, Josh Hart, Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, and Bobby Portis. And on the sidelines, Steve Kerr as the head coach. Is it a bad team by any means? No! But does it strike fear in the hearts of international competition? Also no. The Team USA roster has historically been experimental, with a focus on younger rising stars in the league. So this isn't necessarily a shock to the community. I mean, just look at the most recent 2019 team. They had a young Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Donovan Mitchell. But beyond that, the roster was not super stacked. Even if you go back to prior years in 2014 and 2010, same story. Some great rising talent, but not all stars from top to bottom. Why, you may ask? Simple. To prevent injuries and prioritize the NBA season. Do y'all remember when Paul George snapped his leg in a 2014 Team USA showcase game? Yeah, how could you not? So many of the top stars get invited to the FIBA team, but many decline. Now, don't get it twisted, we still are the cream of the crop. There have been 18 FIBA World Cups to take place, and the US is in the top spot with a total 12 total medals, 5 of them being gold medals. We did win back in 2010 and 2014, but we actually didn't win in 2019. We didn't even get bronze. And now the US needs to get revenge. Alright, so who are the true contenders that will give us a run for our money? Well, in reality, there are quite a few. Now let's start with Spain. Who has NBA players the likes of Ricky Rubio, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, Rudy Fernandez, and a deep lineup of Euro vets? Not the most exciting roster, right? Well, they have won 2 of the last 4 FIBA World Cup titles. FIBA actually ranks the top teams by country, and they're actually ranked at the #1 team, barely having the edge over the US. Say what you want, but you can't count them out. They arguably have the strongest chemistry of any team in the world. Next on the plate, we have France, who has Rudy Gobert, Evan Fournier, Nicolas Batum, Frank Ntilikina, EuroLeague legend Nando Di Colo, and others. Plenty of NBA talent here. France has actually placed bronze in the last 2 FIBA tournaments, and ranks as the 5th best team in the world. They are the ones that made 2019 a disaster for the US team. France knocked the US out of the tournament in the quarterfinals, which was a huge disappointment. You know they're hungry to get to that title game and show the world they can win. Alright, now we got the most dominant player in the league and his cast of teammates. Yep, we're talking about Serbia. Nikola Jokic will be an absolute monster, controlling the game and dishing it to the likes of Bogdan Bogdanovic, Boban Marjanovic, Nemanja Bjelica, and others. They've got size, shooting, experience, everything. They actually lost to the US in the 2014 title game and nearly got bronze in 2010. But even if it was Jokic and a YMCA squad, you can't count them out. Jokic is gonna come off horse riding and table dancing in Serbia to drop a 50-point triple-double on the world. That's just how it is. Now, a team that has never placed in the FIBA World Cup but actually stacks up talent-wise better than any other team with the US is Canada. Get this: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Kelly Olynyk, Lou Dort, Corey Joseph, Dwight Powell, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and even Dillon Brooks? Imagine SGA and Jamal Murray in the backcourt with Lou Dort locking up the opposing team's player. If Dillon Brooks doesn't rub off on the rest of the team, they will be looking to prove that they're a top-tier country for basketball. Rounding out our true list of FIBA contenders is Australia. The Aussies also have a great lineup of current and former NBA vets and rising stars: Josh Giddey, Joe Ingles, Patty Mills, Matisse Thybulle, Matthew Dellavedova, Thon Maker, Dante Exum, Josh Green, and Jock Landale. They actually rank at the number 3 team in this FIBA Cup, and almost had a taste of a bronze medal back in 2019. Now, although it's arguable how far these next several teams may go, out of respect to their star players, we still have to give them their flowers. Slovenia has Luka Doncic, and Finland has Lauri Markkanen. These stars would need to carry their teams hard to get anywhere, but you never know. Along with these contenders and stars, you have to acknowledge the X Factor that has actually decided more games than you think in FIBA. The X Factor is team chemistry and heart. So many of these international players have been playing together since they have been kids. They live to play on an international stage and represent their country. It literally means the world for them. They are so in sync with one another that they will use that to their advantage against the US. And you also know that their country's fan base is going to be there to cheer them on like crazy. In contrast, the US team gets thrown together with a few months to practice together. Sure, they have all the talent, but chemistry and passion for the FIBA tournament isn't the same. Now, before we reveal who's gonna take home the gold, we gotta explain how this FIBA tournament works. The World Cup lasts from August 25th to September 10th, and will be co-hosted by the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. In the first round, there are 8 groups with 4 teams in each group. Every team plays a total of 6 games against the 3 other teams in its group. The top 2 teams from each group advance to the second round. In the second round, there are 4 groups with 4 teams in each group. Their records from their first 6 games carries over, and then they play 4 more games, each in these more competitive groups. Then the top 2 teams from each of these competitive groups qualifies for the quarterfinals. At this point, the quarterfinals to the finals acts as you'd expect. The winners of the semifinals battle it out for gold and silver, while the losers of the semifinals battle it out for the bronze medal. Phew, I know that was a lot to keep up with, so thanks for sticking with us. Along with the structure being very different, the FIBA World Games is vastly different from the NBA as well. The FIBA courts are smaller, the 3-point line is shorter, and the quarters are 10 minutes long. Other smaller but notable differences are that goaltending is allowed, there are no defensive 3-second violations, and there is a 5-foul limit. In terms of playing style, European teams usually play at a more steady pace, focused on ball movement and team play, and because of the more relaxed defensive rules, it can be tougher to score in the paint. Meanwhile, the NBA favors athleticism, star power with less ball movement, and more 3-point shooting. These are all just more adjustments that the US stars will need to get used to. It's no wonder that Luka Doncic famously said it's much tougher to score, especially put up a lot of points in international play. And it makes sense why. Alright, we've given you the breakdown, but who is winning this damn thing? If you ask the Vegas odd makers, you'll see that the US has the best odds, followed by Australia and Serbia. And if you're thinking we were going against Vegas, then you're crazy. Yes, the US will claim gold back in the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Yes, there will be lots of adjustments, but our stars will pull it together and put us back on top. But we'd be lying if we thought it was going to be a cakewalk, because it won't be. The other top-ranked teams do have a solid shot of upsetting the US, so it's gonna require us to be one cohesive team. Are we going to eat our words? Who do you think will take gold at the end of it all? Who will be the toughest contender to the US? Thanks for watching. See y'all in the comments.